What's up, YouTube? This is Rick back with another video. Today, I am going to go over the price of Bitcoin on the 30th of December. So $47,264. Well, it didn't turn into 100K. A lot of people were speculating, believing that before New Year, we were going to see a 100K Bitcoin. Well, that did not happen. There were a few people and a few content creators on YouTube that were going on and preaching it, and it just never happened. I mean, it's always good to be a maximalist because no crypto project would actually work if it didn't have its entourage of maximalists behind it. It will get there. So there's no doubt about it, but I think this was a little bit too that was just too bullish to say it was going to hit 100K. But anyway, it is what it is, right? So I hope everyone had a Merry Christmas, and we're looking forward to the new year because I do think there's going to be some huge movements in the upwards direction after New Year. And I just want to bring something to all of your attention because this is actually really, really important and it needs to be addressed. And I'm going to just lay out a few things in this video. They're going to highlight some issues that I have with Bitcoin. I'm bullish on Bitcoin, and I will continue to be bullish until I would imagine we see like a $4 million Bitcoin. And after that, I just think there's not much room more to be so bullish about it. And the reason why is because it's sustainability. If you understand how Bitcoin works, then you'd know that it works through proof of work. And this basically means in sort of more easier to understand terms that it uses power in order to process transactions across the blockchain. And it uses a lot of power. In fact, it's about I mean, currently today, it's using about the same power as the country Argentina just to process the transactions that we're having currently today. And let's just have a look at these, there's around about 300 million people actively involved and exposed in cryptocurrency. And I would say quite a portion of them would also hold Bitcoin. And just remember, there's about 7.7 billion people in the world. Looking at it here, right? So you have 300 million people that are worldwide holding crypto. And currently, just between the people holding the Bitcoin, and I don't think all 300 million are holding Bitcoin. I think maybe even half, I mean, possibly even less than half are holding Bitcoin, and still the amount of transactions and the power that's being used to do these transactions is the same as the whole country Argentina. That's like not sustainable. It's a great store of value. I mean, look, like, don't get me wrong, I love Bitcoin. I think the technology behind it is outstanding. It's helped to revolutionize cryptocurrency and take it to where it is now. It's given the foundations to showing everybody that there is another way to send, store, and transact value across the internet. And that has set it's paved a new way for innovative developers to come up with alternative versions of Bitcoin. And Ethereum was one of the biggest players to show and what this technology could do with blockchain. And even Ethereum, it ran into some issues with scalability. It ran into these huge gas fees. I mean, even today, it costs like anywhere between like $150 to $300 just to send a transaction along the blockchain. You like, if you want to do like any smart contract, if you want to do like any DeFi, or use Uniswap, and you want to swap some ERC20 tokens, it's going to cost you so much money to complete these transactions, because they use this proof of stake consensus mechanism. And that's it's more efficient than Bitcoin, but it's very expensive. So there's, you know, a learning curve to be had there. So there are other companies, projects. In fact, there's a developer called Charles Hoskin who developed Cardano, who was originally a co-founder of Ethereum, and he decided to build a platform and a blockchain and a cryptocurrency and combine it and create this. He created an ecosystem, and solved pretty much all the problems that Ethereum faced. And this is a much better, it's hard to say better, because you can't say better because it's not fully working to its full capacity. We've seen how Ethereum works. We know it works, but it's just not working efficiently. Cardano has everything in place, and it's pretty much just at that tipping point of, you know, having everything work seamlessly, because a lot of projects are still in development stage, but they are, you know, their main purpose was to tackle these scalability issues. And if you don't know much about Cardano, I would definitely take a further nosedive into this, because they reduce transaction costs, fees, they speed up processing, and also once they're at that stage in their roadmap, that they'll actually be being able to do more transactions per second than Ethereum. So it's, I would say in the long term, I would say it's a much better long-term hold than ETH. I mean, ETH is a great hold to have now, but I think, you know, I would be looking into other ecosystems that are cheaper, that are interoperable, and offer all the things that DeFi should do in a more affordable way and a fast way. So at the end of the day, it's about innovation. It's about technology that works seamlessly and benefits people. And this is the whole reason why you should be in crypto in the first place. You know, that's what it's for. You're supposed to solve problems that we've had before. And if you can capitalize on it in a way, you know, that's absolutely awesome. I mean, that's like the bonus, right? Some people go into the technology side of cryptocurrency. Some people are just there for the gain, straight up. They just want to make as much money as possible. I mean, everybody is, but if you want to look at the a little bit deeper into it and have a little longer term view on cryptocurrency and what it can do, I mean, you got to look at scalability, and I'm in it for the long term. Let's just have a look now at what some people have been doing with Bitcoin to improve the carbon footprint, because of the, you know, using Bitcoin, you have to use there's very many ways that people are using, like, for example, factory coal producing methods of being able to produce power to generate enough power to process the transactions on for Bitcoin, and that's causing a lot of pollution. And but there's some alternatives, and I look at El Salvador, and it is pretty funny to see what they do. And they're using a volcano to power their Bitcoin mining. And I mean, fair play to them. I mean, it's innovative, but as I said, I don't think this is going to be scale. You know, it's not the sort of. I don't think there's going to be many countries that can replicate this. There's only so many volcanoes that are active at the moment. I just think that El Salvador have been pretty hands-on with the whole thing. Their president's doing some pretty innovative moves for any president. So yeah, so volcanoes are being used to harness Bitcoin power. I just think this is it's a good way to use natural energy sources, and that's about it. Otherwise, if you want to get 7.7 billion people in the world to use Bitcoin as an alternative form of currency, it's just not going to happen, in my opinion, unless Elon Musk pulls some kind of thing out of the bag. And but until then, I just don't think that's going to happen. And there's a lot of press about it, so you can go and have a look and check out to see how much that Bitcoin pumps CO2 into the world. And we have enough of that as it is. And this is something, I mean, to fix one problem and cause another problem, it's not really the perfect solution. I mean, the technology was great, but it has to be improved upon and developed. But as a store of value, Bitcoin is great. But when you see things like this, I mean, this is quite interesting, because it's like the 30th. We have like one more day for this to end. But this website, this will actually tell you how much CO2 is getting pumped into the world. And, on average, we're looking at 43 billion tons of CO2 pumped into the world every year. And that's a lot. So the less of that, the better. And because like our world is literally just getting completely destroyed. I mean, if you just look at the Great Barrier Reef right here, this was like a couple of decades ago, and now look at it, it's just dead. Like your planet Earth is literally getting destroyed. I'm not here to be some hippie type person. It's just gonna go and say, oh, you need to like say, like, seriously, like we're totally destroying the planet, like for real. 42.9 billion tons of CO2 getting pumped into the atmosphere every single year. So if you think about it, if you have 300 million people that are exposed to cryptocurrency, and only, let's say, 50% of these people have exposure to Bitcoin, if you do the math, it means that if 7.7 billion people were to have the exposure to Bitcoin, that means that if you were to have, let's say, currently right now, Argentina is what, the country Argentina is literally using less energy than what Bitcoin is using to produce the transactions and per year. It's like having 25 Argentinas. The amount of energy that 25 Argentinas would be the equivalent to what the world would use if everybody were to use Bitcoin as an alternative currency. And I think it would even be more than 25 Argentinas. So I think there's other alternatives that people should be looking into. And I definitely would, consider looking into other forms of cryptocurrency other than just Bitcoin and ETH, right? Because everybody knows these ones. Yes, it's good to get exposure to all, the top of the food chain, but at the end of the day, it's about scalability. Not all the crypto assets that you see in the top 10 will remain in the top 10 for any longer than the next like 4 or 5 years. They will swap around. There'll be so many different ones. At some point, ETH will outperform, will have a larger market cap than Bitcoin. I can say quite confidently that's going to happen. I reckon that's going to happen within the next 2 to 3 years, that Ethereum's market cap will outperform Bitcoin's market cap. And I can say that with complete confidence. And I do think that, there'll be some switch between the next top 5, top 10. They're all going to swap around. But I do think that the main one that I'm having a look at on my radar is the Devio blockchain. And the reason why I'm looking at this is because if you go on to here, you'll understand that the Devio is one of the, I found it here. It's just absolutely phenomenal, the technology and what they can do. I'm going to leave this link down below, and you can check this out. And but the Devio platform appears to have gained some attention because the ESG, environmental social governance space. And so according to the Devio's founders, the Devio network uses 1/1,000,000th of the energy usage of Bitcoin and generates far less in terms of greenhouse gases. And that brings me on to the point, like scalability, it's something that everybody could use. And it was designed specifically to reduce energy expenditure and be a greener cryptocurrency. This is clear from the founders' commitment to creating Devio as the blockchain ecosystem that can support multi-party collaboration and trust across stakeholders working in the field of environment and sustainability. Now I was going to carry on with this, and the Devio system can be used to authenticate green certifications, enable market for carbon credits, and facilitate financing for sustainability projects. And it does this without creating inefficiencies and massive energy requirements as projects scale ever upwards. This isn't a proof of work blockchain like Bitcoin. Instead, individual nodes talk to each other, creating an energy efficient system. It is also time efficient in that a web developer can quickly hook into Devio's blockchain. So Devio's blockchain is going to be one of the easiest blockchains for new developers to integrate into. And they've done it in a very interesting way. They've created their blockchain and they've developed everything from the other way around. So normally people who are creating projects, they would create their token first, and then they would like use their token and put it onto an exchange, and then they would get people to buy their token, and then they would use the people's money to build a project on the hopes and dreams that they're going to follow their roadmap, and they'll kind of wing it along the way. And if they come into some problems later on, they could just scrap the project and everyone would lose out, and there would be no risk to the developers at all. However, the CEO of this project, Tom Anderson, he basically took this from another angle. He took it from a more traditional standpoint, from an enterprise angle, and they created the token after they had a working product, and that's admirable in this industry. And I think kudos to the team for doing such moves. And I mean, I hope this sets an example to all other blockchains, but I think the Devio is going to do very well. And that's why I'm bringing this one's attention to my channel once again, because I did bring the lit pets to my channel earlier, but after I did more investigation on the Devio blockchain and Tom Anderson, I just had to crack this one out too. So I'm going to explain how it works. The Devio is a distributed accounting protocol based on sharding, layer 2 protocols, and an efficient consensus mechanism. It can currently execute up to 8 million transactions per second. Each shard represents a blockchain ledger, and thousands of these shards can be added to eventually enable tens of millions of transactions per second. This is an example of horizontal scaling, meaning that because each shard is independent, every transaction does have to go through the entire network to be authenticated. It just has to go through one independent blockchain. To create the necessary complexity for security, Devio has transactions move between shards, but each wallet is only assigned one shard. Payment happens on one shard as part of tier 1 and settlement on another, the tier 2 network. And, if you go onto the website and check out the platform, you'll see that they are all ready to deal with multiple enterprises, and they're on an enterprise level, and they will be able to absolutely dominate the blockchain, the industry. I do see this personally becoming a top 10 cryptocurrency. I think this could do this in the next couple of years, and they have so much to offer cryptocurrency in general. And, this is one just to keep your eye on. So they're going to make a big improvement to what we have at the moment. in cryptocurrency, and this is what's needed. It's necessary for the development and scalability of all blockchain transactions. I'm very happy to be part of the pre-sale, which has just, I believe it's just ended. And I'm also very happy to be part of the N or NY experience, or you can call it the NY experience, because that will be they'll be showcased on the blockchain, and it'll be demonstrating the throughput that will allow people to understand how quickly this blockchain can work. And I've been using the beta version, and it's really, really good. And I can see this also, the Litcraft game, which is a blockchain based play to earn game, which will be showcased on this blockchain very, very soon, Q1 of this year, probably January, within a month. And I just thought that everybody in this channel should get involved into the best up and coming blockchains, and that are actually going to improve cryptocurrency and the environment, as well as increase your wealth at the same time. Thank you for watching this video. And before I go, I'm going to show you a demonstration comparison of the other blockchains in terms of, I'm just going to show you these measurements here to just show you an indicator. So right now, as you can see, Ethereum is doing 15 to 30 transactions per second. And the average transaction fee is about $15. But, you know, if you're using smart contracts and you're using DeFi on Uniswap or decentralized exchanges, that transaction fee can be up well beyond $300. Tezos, it can do 40 transactions per second, and the average transaction fee is very, very low, so very good. But the transactions per second is also very low too. Wax can do 1200. Binance Smart Chain can do 50 to 60. And but if you have a look down, and you'll see Devio, it can do 8 million transactions per second. So that is perfect for NFTs, marketplaces, play to earn games, and basically all types of transactions that you'd expect on one single blockchain. And the transaction fee, 0. And that's all I have for this video. If you like this content, make sure you give it a big thumbs up. If you want to leave a comment, feel free to do so. And don't forget to check out the links I have underneath the description below. And I wish you all a happy new year and many gains to come. Over and out.